Hi, I'm David Kessler. I wanted to speak to you today about grief and the holidays. Even if you're not going through a loss, the holidays are a stressful time. But imagine how magnified that gets if you've recently had a loved one die or a loved one's memories just really come up around the holidays. It can be a real struggle. I help people deal with the holidays all the time, as well as I found ways to help myself and them that I want to share with you today. People in grief oftentimes think about it's going to be Thanksgiving Day that's going to be tough. It's going to be Christmas Day that's going to be tough. Or Hanukkah, whatever your holiday is. After people have gone through it, they say the month of November, the month of December were challenging. It's anticipatory grief, anticipating those days. They said the day didn't turn out to be as bad as leading up to it. So let's talk about ways that we can find a little more peace when we're dealing with challenging times during the holidays. The holidays are about togetherness. How do you have togetherness when the person you want to be together with is no longer here? And think of our expectations around the holidays. We all have huge expectations to have an amazing, full, warm, meaningful time. You've seen all those movies. You see movies about people who the family get together and it's just beautiful and wonderful. We want our holidays to be like them. But then there was that slew of movies that came out with dysfunctional families, and we love those even more because they're closer to our families. So just know it's a time of heightened expectations. It's a time when you see the sayings all around you, a time for togetherness, or the season of hope. All these messages that don't really resonate with you. Merry Christmas. You're feeling like my Christmas isn't merry. Happy holidays. You don't feel happy. And just know, completely normal. It's completely normal to feel that way. It's a time when your insides don't match the outside world. If you choose to go to a holiday gathering, just know many times people have walked away from the gathering saying, no one mentioned my wife. No one mentioned Charlie who died. Why aren't people talking about it? Because it's so huge in your life. Oftentimes, they think you don't want to talk about it. So many times we have to give people those cues. We have to say to them, wow, I'm really missing Charlie during the holidays. And it lets them know it's okay to talk about Charlie. In fact, they might share a memory with you you didn't even know happened with Charlie. So it's a great time and for you to let others know those memories are your cushions. That's part of what gets you through this challenging time. This holiday season, don't isolate, but also don't be overwhelmed. You may get more invitations than you've ever gotten because people are like you're in grief, or you may be surprised you might get less. Choose what's right for you. And don't do anything that doesn't feel right. Don't do it because someone else says you've got to go, or we always do it this way. You do what feels right for you. Holidays are a challenging time. There's a lot of, now we're all together for the holidays. And you're thinking, we're not all together. My loved one's not here. It's also the year of lasts. Think about that. The first year you're thinking, last year we were all together for Thanksgiving. Last Christmas she was here with me. Last year our child was still here. So honor those lasts. Just know they're going to come up. You also may have a lot of never agains. I'm never again going to spend Christmas with him. I'm never again going to have a Hanukkah with him. I'm never going to again have a Thanksgiving. Those never agains can be really challenging. And just know in time they will subside. You're going to find peace around the holidays again. You may even find new meaning and happiness, but I know it's challenging for now. So here are some ideas that may be helpful. First, free yourself up from rituals. Anything that doesn't serve you, you can let go of it. Let's say something was just too much work. One woman I know She did holiday cards. It started out as 20, then 50, then 100, then 200, then 300. She said after her husband died, she was done with those holiday cards. She felt like she needed a break. And after she took a break, the next year she looked back and she realized that was a lot of work that wasn't as much joy. So she created a new online ritual. But just know, if you're not feeling up to that ritual, you don't have to do it. Another thing we can do, you can cancel a holiday. Yep, believe it or not, you have the power to cancel a holiday. I know many people go, wait a minute, well, what would happen if we cancel Thanksgiving? It'll come right around next year. Don't worry, you can't harm a holiday. You might need a break. One woman, I know her husband died, and she had 2 teenagers. She said it happened around Christmas. We went through the motions. She said everything was so painful. His absence was so loud. We realized doing Christmas was even worse. She decided the next year they weren't going to do Christmas. They just skipped it altogether. And the 3rd year she did it, she said they created new rituals. They created a new Christmas. They found ways to honor their father, but they created a new. So cancel the holiday if you need to. The other thing that people find really helpful is to have a plan A and plan B. Here's how this works. Plan A is you get invited to your family holiday event. It's not usually what you would do, but you can't do what you usually would do because your loved one's gone. So you're thinking, I don't really want to go, but I don't want to do nothing. So that's plan A. Create a plan B. Plan B is you're going to lean into the loss. Plan B, you're going to have your favorite movie that you two watch together. You're going to have your favorite food. Maybe you're going to take a walk that you two would take. Something that just connects you with that person. People oftentimes feel like if they have plan B in place, they just can do plan A. Because if you were doing plan A with nothingness, it was tough. But knowing there's a plan B helps a lot. The other thing that people have told me when they have a plan B, they might start with spending some time connecting to their loved one who's died. Then after that, they feel like they did that, they're ready to go out and be with other people. If you were the gift giver in the family, or your family really does tons of gifts, give yourself a break if you don't feel like doing it. It's okay to just decide not to do it this year. Now, you're going to have well-meaning family members. You're going to have a lot of people around you who are going to say to you, oh, listen, here's what you got to do. Here's the right way to do it. Here's what I found. Work with my loss. Do this. Don't do that. You know what? They're well-meaning. Just thank them. They want you to be happy. They may be a little pushy. It may feel that way. But that's okay. Just let them give you the suggestions. You take what you want. You leave the rest. When you're with those friends doing things, just know if you're going to an event, you want to take your own car. You don't want to feel trapped that you rode with someone else. So just know, have an exit strategy because you want to be able to leave when you want to leave. The third thing is include the loss in the day. Many times we don't want the loss in the holidays, so we fight it, we try to push it aside. The reality is, the loss is there, so why not include it? There's some great ways to do it. You can light a candle. Maybe before the family dinner, you all say a prayer. Maybe for kids, you have them do some messages on a balloon. Lots of different things you can do. In fact, sometimes people go, well, David, we can't do all of that because you don't understand. There's going to be people at the dinner who didn't know the person who died. Things don't always have to be obvious. Let me give you a great example. A woman shared with me how her father was a diabetic. Because he was a diabetic, what did that mean? He was always sneaking M&Ms. So what do they do now that he's gone every holiday? They just put a bowl of M&Ms out for him. They're always around during the holidays at the holiday events. They don't tell everyone what the bowl is for, but in their heart they know that's in honor of him. Around the dinner table, you can all take time sharing a favorite story about the person who died. Many times, just hearing stories we didn't know about, just hearing our other loved ones talk about the person died, doesn't bring us more sorrow because people are going to think this is going to be upsetting to you. It actually makes you feel better to hear your loved one's name and hear those stories. So encourage the family. Talk about the loss. It's okay. People also sometimes just feel like, I can't do the holidays the way I did them. They make them a day of service. A day of service means you go to the homeless shelter on Thanksgiving and feed the homeless. Or there's groups that are putting together gifts for kids in foster care or other situations. You can be part of that. Just know there's lots of different ways to do the holidays. You might turn up with something we've never heard of. You might create an incredible ritual that helps so many people in grief. So just be unique. Figure out what feels right for you. Number 5, an important thing to do. If you have a friend who's in grief and you're looking for ways to help them, invite them. Invite them to some of your get-togethers, some of your parties. Sometimes it's all right to go be with another family during that time. Sometimes just all our own memories are too much. They might like going to another event. But always give them choices. I'd love to see you. So I have this party I'm going to. Would you like to go to this small get-together with me? Or shall we just on another time have coffee? Let's make a plan tonight. Do you want to go have dinner? How about a movie? Just know you can find things to do with people. Don't wait to ask to be helped. You just help. Dive in, invite them, connect with them. A phone call, I'm thinking of you. The 6th thing, during the holidays, we have to pay attention to the children. Children feel our feelings. Children are often in grief too. They were a part of the loss. If they were part of the love, they're part of the loss. And children are often the forgotten grievers. So it's really important we talk to kids. We watch them, see how they're doing. One person shared with me how during the holidays, even during a gathering, their loved one had died very close to the holidays. And their little girl was just off worried and just not connecting with people. And they finally said to her, honey, what's wrong? And she said, well, we had Grandpa's funeral and I'm so afraid he was hurt when they chopped off his head. Chopped off his head? Honey, no one chopped off Grandpa's head. Why would you say such a thing? What's going on? What are you thinking? She said, well, Grandma used to take me to the cemetery and I saw the headstones. Don't they have to chop off your head to put him in the stones? Kids think all kinds of things. So we want to remember them during the holidays. We want to have those conversations. Holidays can be some of the roughest times we may feel in grief, but we are going to get through them. There is hope. This feeling won't last. It'll change. You'll always remember your loved one. But just know these holidays, it can still be a time to connect with others who are feeling the same thing. Even a grief group, your bereavement group might be doing something special for the holidays. Just know there's lots of ways to connect. And that sorrow you're feeling, that sadness, it's a reflection of the love, that missing in your heart. Send your loved one good wishes for these holidays. Also, just look for ways to honor your loved one. It might be one of the Christmas ornaments is decorated for them, their favorite dish is made. Maybe you do something now online. It's just even posting their picture on Facebook. Find ways to give a tribute to them and honor that loved one. They're always going to be in your heart. Holidays can be very sad, and yet we might find ourselves in the holiday having a moment with a break from the pain. We might catch ourselves smiling. We might find we're doing okay for a bit. Just know whatever you're feeling is completely normal. No one's had the loss you've had. No one's been through these holidays like you are doing. So just honor your own path. As you go through these days, there's no right way. There's no wrong way. There's no single way to do grief. There's all kinds of ways, and most importantly, there's your ways. Remember, always take your own car. Have that exit strategy. As people maybe invite you to things or ask you to do things you're not feeling up to it, say no. No is a complete sentence. You don't have to explain. You can just say no. Grief has a unique way of allowing us to reevaluate the holidays. You'll get to make them your own and try different things, and some of the things that maybe didn't work, you're going to finally be able to let go. You'll create holidays anew, and you'll always have a place in your heart for your loved one. You're never going to forget them. Just know as you move through these days, they're very challenging. I have great compassion for you because I know how hard they've been for me to deal with at times. And I want to give you a message of hope. You're going to get through this. You'll feel better. Maybe not right away, and if you're not feeling good, that's very normal. Wherever you are is completely okay. I'm David Kessler. I thank you for taking the time to connect with me, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.